Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 242 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother's scene.
How we doing?
I couldn't forget it.
But you did.
I did. No one knows. Only the people live in the chat. Scene is how you pronounce his name. Who says that? That's really a thing?
I got it a lot growing up. And I'm like, okay. I know the name Sean has
stupid?
been... No. Well, sometimes it was my friends just being like,
that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Your name's Scene. But sometimes it was legit people just not knowing how to pronounce it. But as a kid, I was always like, I don't know. I don't know too many other Seans that are S-E-A-N. Maybe they just haven't seen it.
Well, they're incorrect.
Seen it. But now, there's a lot of people named Sean that's S-E-A-N.
The right way to spell it, yeah.
And it's very rare that people still give me a Scene. And I'm trying to think of where I was. Slim Chickens or something. I don't know. I was getting food. And
Order
somebody
for Scene?
Yep. And I was like, yes. It's so annoying. I hate it.
John, so if you go to our Twitter at 2player_co-op, there is a link that we have as our pinned tweet, and it'll probably be our pinned tweet forever, no matter how big we get. If you ever want to submit any questions, just click on that, and any questions you have that you want, or anything you want us to talk about, just submit it there every week, and we will talk about it. If you really like us, like James and John do, you can go to patreon.com/2player-co-op, and Sarah, /2player-co-op. Just like our producers, Steve Appleton, Antsu, Vernon Slayton, or Trey Slayton. You got to let me know. I feel, because he's Trey Slayton on Twitter. We talked about it last week. Trey, let me know. Or Vernon. I don't know. I don't know, because you're Trey Slayton, but you're Sir Vernon, so I don't know. And Dustin Downs did, as well as our affiliates, James Solar, Sarah Solar, and John Tingley. Thank y'all so much. We love you. It just continues to boggle our minds. If you like merch and cool t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone cases, hoodies, and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2player-co-op.
I think I need to get some more merch.
Our merch?
Yeah.
I need to get the Metal Gear logo and our logo. I just want to put it right here.
Yeah.
The stickers.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. It is a good deal. He means the link to submit questions. Hopefully our Patreon
merch
is a good link. And our merch. Just keep a heads up. I think it's going to go live this Friday. I tweeted out, if you have any questions you want us to ask Dustin Furman, executive producer at Last Stand Media. Hit the Google Doc that we tweeted. I'll tweet it again before we're going to interview him tomorrow night. Very excited about it. Dustin, honestly, he's got my dream job, and I'm going to tell him that. I don't know how. I know he met Colin a while ago at PSX or E3 or something. They hit it off and they kept in contact, and now he's Dustin. But we're going to interview Dustin Furman this week. We do have another interview coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to say when because I don't know. I kind of want to talk to him after the game goes live. I'll just say it now, with John O'Peck, and I hope I'm saying his name right, because I've heard people say Jono.
I think it's John. I think he said it's Jono.
Yeah, John O'Peck. He was the writer and sound designer and something else on Trigger Witch, which is about to come out here in the next 2 weeks or so. We're hoping to get review codes. We're hoping to do a full review for that, like we did for Hybraxia, because that was a lot of fun to edit. It was a lot of work, but it'll be a lot of fun to do that video. But either way, we're going to talk to Jono here in the next couple weeks or so. But this Friday, I'm going to say, just so we space everything out, we got Zelda Monday, podcast Wednesday, and then the podcast with Dustin on Friday. That's going to go live for everybody at the same time. When we do the Patreon stuff, we're really just thinking about the core episodes when we post them one day early. Stuff like our interview with Colin, this interview with Dustin, when we interview Jono, and then when we interview Colin again in the next month or so. Yes, that's right. And this time, there are no gloves will be on our hands. I can't wait to talk to Colin when I don't have to worry about these stupid turd overlords that I have to worry about no more. Those are going to go live for everybody at the same time. But again, for the regular episodes, if you're a patron, you get them one day early. The special episodes like that, we're going to do them all at the same time. Also, we have a plan for a fun episode 250. Well, we have a plan for a location.
Yeah.
It kind of spoiler alert.
Content TBD.
Yeah, we don't know what we're going to do for it, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. I hope my hotspot holds up so we can stream it, but we'll see. Sean.
Yes.
Speaking of our Patreon affiliates, James Solar writes in, and this is a tough one. So I have kind of an idea, but this is tough. He says, "Hey boys, today I learned in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can dual wield shields as your weapons, and it's surprisingly effective in combat. Have you ever tried something ridiculous in a game, only to find out that it works, and it might be a better build / solution / loadout than what you were doing before? Thanks, James." This is tough, and I wish I would have seen this earlier so I could think about it. The only thing I can think of, and Sean's going to hate me for saying it, is Death Stranding. And just the whole point of that game is to deliver packages from A to B and connect the U.S. and blah, 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 blah. And you use L2 and R2 to do that. Whoa. But if you just hold, it's not that it's ridiculous, but it's just if you just hold L2 and R2, you just go. You go slowly, but you go. And you don't have to really worry about a little pebble here or a rock here or whatever that you weren't planning on, just happening upon and then falling over. I don't know. This is tough for me because the games I mostly play are not, they're not really like that. Like I guess you could say Demon's Souls is the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah.
But I can't think of any kind of crazy loadout.
James, we do sell stickers, yes.
I was so intimidated by that game that I never really... I guess I eventually kind of experimented a little bit, but it was essentially... I don't know. I read up online, I'm like, how do I want to attack this game? And once I found out that magic was the way to go...
But see, what I was going to say is I kind of feel like doing magic in Demon's Souls is kind of like, this isn't how they wanted you to play it, but it's the only way I could play that game.
Yeah. I went back and forth between magic and a shield and magic and a sword because you're not really... It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You kind of either want to be a magic guy or a melee guy.
Yeah.
But I kind of found that doing magic with melee, so a wand and then a sword, especially because there's one sword that upgrades your magic as long as you have it. So in that case, clearly they were thinking about it because that's the only way to get the boost from the sword for your magic is to have them both equipped at the same time. But I was definitely doing a lot of, combo, melee and magic in that game, which they say you're probably not supposed to. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And I found that it worked pretty well, especially later on in the game when, I felt like I needed to save my magic and not use it all the time. I was, doing melee where I could and magic where I had to. But I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me, I think.
Yeah, that's a tough question, James. You should have James. You should have got on the last call in with Colin and posed that question to him because I would like to see somebody with his experience what he would come up with.
I'm sure he's got all sorts of examples. Yeah,
I got to join that Discord so the next time he does this, I can get in there. But we're going to podcast with him again here before too long, so I'll ask him my questions then. Thank you, James. We love you. What have we been playing this week? Have you played anything other than the new game?
I've played
Let me
Returnal.
go first. I am done. I am freaking done with Returnal. For now. I say for now, but I also said I was done with Doom Eternal for now. Never went back. I don't know why. James, I cannot remember the name of the guy that was tweeting me. That was tweeting you and then I got in on it. But he said that Ixion was the hardest, I think, like one of or the hardest bosses that he faced. And I was like, thank you. So I'm not a complete idiot. Other people do have this opinion because it seems like everybody else is saying Ixion, the second boss, is easy.
I said that, but I randomly, just like I went back and tried to fight Frike that one time.
Yeah, and you got wasted.
I tried fighting Ixion. I'm like, let me take him down. I didn't have a great loadout. I didn't have a great weapon, but I'm like, let me see if he's as easy as I remember. And I got smoked. I don't even think I made it to his third phase. So I would not say he's easy. Now, the only thing is when I faced him the first time, I beat him the first time without much trouble. I did have a spaceman, which I used, but I used it when he had like 10%. Like, I almost killed him without it.
But I don't know.
Neither here nor there. I watched a couple YouTube videos, just some like, I want to know going into this fight what to expect.
What do I have?
Because I don't want to have to get back here again. I want to beat it this first time. And I beat him without much trouble. Now, this time, I just kind of rushed in, and I had to kind of learn his patterns again as I went, so that was probably part of the problem. He's not easy. I don't know.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I'm done. Not every game is for everybody, and it just pisses... Now, James got the platinum. Congrats, James. You beat Sean to it, I think.
More on that in a minute.
You got it?
More on that in a minute.
Okay. I hate you both. This is the hardest game I have ever played. Now, James, again, I know we were tweeting back and forth. Cuphead to me is a little bit, it's definitely difficult, but I think the difficulty is just a hair, more than a hair, like a braid, overrated. I think there are 2 really difficult bosses in that. The dragon
and the robot. That's it.
If you get past those, like the final boss is not that bad. You learn the patterns, you do whatever. The roller coaster guy was a little weird, whatever. Now, if I were to jump back in right now, could I beat them? There is no way in hell I would even get them past the first phase right now. And Cyber Shadow was more just, it is what we grew up on. Now, I died 498. I don't even remember 438 times or something. James, you died 900. I don't believe that. I think this game is way more difficult. Cyber Shadow is probably the toughest 2D game I think I've ever played.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I beat that game. I literally don't know that I could beat Ninja Gaiden. Yeah. I don't think I could.
I think you could. The gaming attorney, thank you. I think you could. It's just we don't have a tracker to say you died 3,000 times. You know, like we could definitely beat it. But it's like but that's what, like I was saying on Twitter, that's what we cut our teeth on, was super hard 8 and 16-bit platformers or action platformers or whatever that they only had so much they could do back then. So they said there were some games where they were like, we're just going to make this really, really hard. And that's what adds to the gameplay time. And that's what makes you feel like you got your $50, $60, $70, $80 worth, whatever it was, depending on the game and how many megs it was and everything. Returnal, I feel like I could beat Bloodborne before I could beat Returnal.
The
Demon's
difference
Souls was
is
nothing.
Bloodborne you can grind if you choose to. Returnal, there's not really
and
much
that's why
ways
I hate the roguelike thing.
Yes. Like Bloodborne, you can just suck it up and be like, I'm not going forward until I'm stronger. You don't really have that option in this.
Right.
So that may be true.
So I think I'm done. So I got to Ixion. I had a Moon Man and a small Sylphium thing. But all I had was a level 5 handgun. And it was level 5, so yeah, whatever. But I got to him again when I was just like, I don't freaking care. I got to him with like half health and a large vial. But I had a carbine. I was like, I don't care. And I got him down again to his third life bar, about 75%. When I died, I was just saying I'm done with this. With the handgun, level 5 handgun, I got him down to literally 10%. When he starts going, he like teleport, and there's just red balls coming at you everywhere. And then he's doing the swipe, and he's doing the red ring of death. And I just can't. I know you said last week, just concentrate on not getting hit. But it's like, I don't see how I can't get hit in that third phase.
So the thing is,
and if I had something that fired
understand
faster than a freaking handgun, if I had a carbine, the good carbine or a hollow seeker with that same loadout that was 5 or 6, level 5 or 6, I think I would have beat him just because I'm getting so many more shots off. I know
that's the thing. I think you can
DPS, whatever.
You can. I understand the frustration, and I understand if you quit and don't go back. But you can beat him. You know you can beat him because you almost beat him with a crappy gun. It's just a matter of
but I have
sometimes
to have that perfect
everything
loadout.
Needing to kind of fall into place, and you need.
Like I did one more run, and then I died in Biome 1 because I had 2 Groots and the red guy that jumps at you and just boom with the Gandalf hair. Gandalf. That's not what Ganondorf. And I was like, I don't even care because I just don't care. But like, the reason I didn't care is because I got to the fabricator room, and the one fabricator that sometimes has a moon man was just like blade enhancer. I was like, I don't give. This guy flies around. This is not going to help me. I don't care. So if I die, whatever. I should have just reset the cycle and just started over. But I can't. I just can't. For now, I've got another game that I'm happy that's out, even though I haven't played a whole lot of it yet. I'm happy to play that way more than I am Returnal right now. Did you get the platinum?
I did not.
Okay.
I beat the game again, so I finished Act 3. I did all that.
Well, what the hell's left? All the collectibles?
The surveys, yeah. So I got to finish Biome 2, Biome 6.
Okay.
Biome 2 is the one I kept playing over and 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 over again.
What do you do with those optional rooms where it's like, dash and I went there one time, I was like, I didn't see it say dash enabled, and I was like, I was walking through a red thing.
You get a power up that
of
the
course.
red lava
right.
stuff doesn't hurt you anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
At some point you get a power up that lets you go in water.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I finally got the last glyph thing
Okay.
I needed in Biome 2. Trophy did not and has not popped.
This freaking game,
and I've gotten everything. The only thing I've seen it mentioned one time, so I don't really believe it. One time I saw online that somebody said, in addition to collecting all these, and all these, to get those surveys to pop, you also have to beat the yellow star challenge room in that biome. It's possible. I haven't done that one yet. I feel like I've done most of them. One point or another.
Do you still have your auto updates off?
I have no idea.
Well, that might be it, because one of the patches in the last couple of weeks was they fixed something with trophies.
Yeah. So I don't know, but every other thing I've done, the trophies popped with no problem. So I've restarted the cycle. That didn't do it. I closed the game, went back in. That didn't do it. I've seen some people say, go into a game, go into options, say to play offline, go offline, then turn it off, then turn back on, play offline, and then say go on. All these things. And I did that, and then it popped. So I'm like, I don't know. The only thing I have left to do now is get 3 more ciphers in Biome 6, which Biome 6 honestly is one of the easier ones as far as I'm concerned. So
you just got to get there.
I can do it. But I don't know. It didn't pop for Biome 2, so I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't know.
I would check your updates.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, I would check your updates, because that could be the issue.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just done for now. The other game I played on PS4/5 came out this past week. We did get review codes, which we're not reviewing it here, but thank you, Dotemu or .emu or whatever you say, Liberty Mutual. The Streets Rage 4 DLC, Mr. X's Nightmare, was out. So this adds Estelle, we don't know how you say her name because there's no voices, Max, and Shiva as playable characters. It did a whole bunch of balancing and whatever, palette swaps for all the characters, which I do appreciate. You can do an Axel color swap that's kind of like Streets Rage 3, but he's got black hair, which just makes it weird. But the main part of this is the survival mode, which you load up into a simulation, quote unquote, and you go through levels with randomly spawning enemies, and you just see how far you can go. I tried it once, and I got to level 4, and I died because I was fighting Cherry, like Android not Android, but like Simulation Cherry was a boss, and she wrecked me because there was also 2 or 3 other enemies there or something.
Yeah.
With Axel. And then I went back. I was like, you know what? Adam is actually my favorite character in this, so I'm going to play as Adam. And I got all the way to level 15. I beat 3 bosses, I think. I don't remember what ended up killing me, but the cool thing about this, I'm not big on these whole like survival modes. Dinner.
Fish.
All right. Survival modes, horde modes, whatever. But this... I invited you to my game. I saw you're playing Returnal, but I was like, I'm just going to annoy you.
I'm in the middle of a good run.
I'm going to annoy you and just invite you to this game. But it's cool because after every stage that you clear, again, I got up to 15. When you beat that stage, you get 2 options at the beginning, and then later on you get 3. And it's like every stage has like 2 random power-ups. You pick one, and it sticks with you. Like under your life bar, you see all the icons for all the things that you get. You can either do like your attacks do 30% more damage, or if you do a defensive special, it adds lightning to it or something. You pick whichever one. Go back. Or it's like you get a gold knife, and it does like 1-hit kills on most enemies. Or you can do you take 10% less damage, and then you go to the next level. And you just keep having all these things, and you stack them and everything. It's really fun. I think if we did it together, it'd be even more fun. It was tough playing it single player, but I kind of like it. Like I would have rather had, 3 more levels where actually you're fighting Mr. X or something, because he wasn't actually in the game. It was his spoiler alert. It was his kids. But I do like it. I like the fact I kind of want to go back and do the single player with. I don't want to play as Max because he's just big and slow. It would be Estel or Shiva. Everybody online is saying Shiva's freaking awesome, which you can imagine. That his combos are ridiculous and whatnot. But Mr. X's Nightmare was pretty damn good. I like it. I think it would be fun for us to do together. It might be a fun let's play. Yeah. And go from there. But
yeah, I'm down.
Kevin, get good. I can't get good, James. I'm done. I know when a game is not for me. I'm almost 40. I'm literally less than 3 months away from being 40. Huh?
You're a man.
I've been a man. Baby, I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm not the man at that game. Do you play anything else? Or just the...
Yeah, just the other one.
All right. A new yet old game came out this week. That game is The Legend of Zelda. Oh, look over there. Mine are over there. Like, those are not crew socks. They lied. Not crew socks. No, crew socks stop there.
But then where do you put the shield?
Right there. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This is a game that I've hated forever without ever having played it. Because of the Wii. Because of the 480i graphics. Because of the motion controls. Because of all that. But I've now actually played it. Now, I've only played it for about 3 hours, and I haven't even beaten one effing dungeon. I will say that. You said it starts slow. No kidding. How far are you in Skyward Sword HD?
I beat the first dungeon today.
I'm into the deep woods. That's where I'm at. So does that count as the dungeon?
No.
Okay.
I skipped a lot of the intro. I mean, as much as you can, like skipping cutscenes or whatever.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I've seen
already.
this all before. Yeah. I get the story. Oh, like they're all the same. So I skipped a lot of the story. But then what would usually happen is it's not like you have an objective, anywhere that it tells you. Yeah. So I would skip something and I'd be like, well
what
crap,
do I do now?
I don't know. So I would go and talk to somebody and be like, oh, you're looking for your bird thing?
Your bird got trapped in the cave.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. And then I would skip something else. Oh, Groose, I think I saw him over in... I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's what I got to do. So I skipped a lot of that. So it went fast, but I also just kept getting
Groose
lost.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I assume this guy gets redeemed at some point.
You got
No, I don't care at this point. I already know the story. I just forgot it. But like, Groose sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have mixed feelings on this game.
Me too.
This game in handheld mode is when I say handheld, I mean
No.
not motion controls. I don't like motion controls. This game without motion controls, to me, almost unplayable.
In handheld, yes.
It's so... Every time I see an enemy, all of a sudden I'm like, okay.
He puts his sword
so I got
here.
L2, okay, so
Right.
now I can lock on, and then I got it, okay. But even the enemies, I'm like, this guy's like holding a shield here. Or I mean, a sword or whatever,
Yeah.
but he's using it as a shield. I'm like, oh, I can vertical slice
Nope.
him. So then I vertical slice, and then he's like, hey!
He goes,
and he blocks it. I'm like,
You
"Whoa."
got to hit him from the right, yeah.
It's just so annoying. There are times where I'm like left, right, left to do a spin attack,
Yep.
and he's just like, and he won't do the spin attack. I'm like, spin your stupid sword. It's
The
just
Octoroks in this game have killed me 3 times.
between like, and then you have to click the left button to use your shield.
I
don't remember
gonna
what
ask,
that was
I had
like
to
in the
freaking Google.
original.
I had to freaking Google how the hell. Why do I have a shield?
This
How do
game,
I,
I
use
think
it?
I need to. I haven't even tried yet. I think I need to switch to the motion controls because this game to me is almost unplayable. It's so slow and plodding. Like every time I see an enemy, it's like I need to gather my thoughts and be like, okay, so I want to do. Okay, so if I hold L2, I can lock on.
The only thing that
okay.
makes sense is
And
L2
then
to lock on. Yeah,
It's just you hold B to run,
right.
which is just kind of weird.
Yes,
But whatever.
and you push the left stick in to
To
guard.
use your
But you
shield.
can't even use it. It's just to like go. Boink.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
just
tried
one-
doing that
it's just-
against the Octoroks,
yeah.
and it was like. Bleh.
Right.
And then finally, I was just like, I don't know what to, and I did a spin attack by accident. I hit it back at him. I was like, that's how I fight these.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that.
No,
I was doing the shield.
I did it by accident. Yeah,
Not that you spend a lot of time on your bird, but like just the fact
the flying sucks. I did invert my flying as I always do.
Well, the other thing, maybe I skipped something, but it took me a while to realize. Like I know you can raise and then you
drop down
dive
to
to
get
go
more
really
speed,
fast, and it said like A increase at your goes up.
Ascent. Yeah.
But I didn't realize you had to like tap 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 tap.
Oh, you do? I've been holding
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was doing. I'm like, man, he's not going up very far. You have to like keep
That's why I was
tapping,
like,
and then
this
it's
is
like,
not much of an ascent.
and then he goes way up. Yeah.
Okay.
So either they didn't explain that,
They
or I
didn't.
accidentally skipped it. I don't
Also,
know.
there was one cutscene before I forget where they said your shield or something, and it was YOU_RE, and I saw it, and then I was like,
Oh, I
I clicked
didn't see
A, and I
that.
was like, oh damn, I know I just saw that. I should have got a screenshot of that, but
I don't
whatever.
remember that, but I may have skipped it. I know you don't spend a lot of time flying, so it's not that big of a
Thank
deal.
God.
But why? B runs, but not when you're flying. Then B slows down.
Correct.
Like, why? Why? Just be consistent. It's so annoying how they do this stuff. I've gotten my way through the first dungeon. It's not... God. And then, like, you hold R to switch your weapons.
When I finally got an item, I was like, I don't know how to do the slingshot.
But I keep wanting to, like, hold R and then, like, flick to the thing I want.
No.
But you can't. You have to hold R, move to the thing, and then let go of R
yeah.
to select it. It just doesn't feel right. The whole camera thing...
I cannot get used
I think
to
I
it.
need to try playing this with motion controls.
Yeah.
But then, I can't even remember if I've tried since I upgraded my Switch when they had like the new model. Last time I checked, though, I cannot just sit on my sofa and play with the Wiimotes.
Oh, 'cause you're too
the
far
stupid
away.
things. I'm either too far away, so I need to have the door open to
Right.
where my Wii is. But if I'm just leaning back on the couch, it doesn't work. I need to sit on the edge of my chase lounge
So
thing,
then you're like
and
this.
I need to sit like I'm like pointing them this way to like. It's just so annoying. So I'm not even looking forward to playing it with motion controls either. At the end of the day, it's a Zelda game. It's fun. Just going into a Zelda dungeon that to me is basically new because I haven't played it in 10 years
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, it's still Zelda at the end of the day. 10 years? No, it's probably 15. When did this game come out?
No, it was 10 years. It was 2011.
That's it?
James says he remembers the first boss being hard.
Kinda. It took me a little bit to figure out what I was even supposed to do. I'm constantly just finding myself lost and nothing. When I started playing Returnal today, granted it wasn't that long, but I hadn't played in 2, maybe 3 days. I dove right back in and I didn't even have to think about it. I was just in there.
Because those controls make sense, yeah.
They make perfect sense.
Yes.
You don't even need to think about it. It just flows. This game, I feel like the controls are garbage. They are terrible. They're absolutely terrible.
Terrible. I will say, so I've never even touched this game. The thing that jumped out to me, and I'm obviously not the first person to say this, but so you can see so many tendrils from this game to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah.
It is insane.
The Moblins, or not the Moblins, the Bokoblins look identical.
But like
the focus on like actual combat, which I can appreciate. The sailcloth.
Except Breath of the Wild did combat
shields,
so much
like,
better. That's the thing. Stamina, items from nemesises, the sailcloth, the breakable. Thank God my goddess sword doesn't break. I hope. When do I get a real effing shield? Because I'm already down to. I haven't even made it to the dungeon yet. My durability is like.
You can buy a better one, I think, after the first dungeon.
Okay, because I'm just.
But it's still breakable. I mean, it's just much more durable.
But like. The other thing, I played this handheld at first over there when I was finishing up work on Friday with my Pro controller, thank God. And I was like, this looks okay and everything. And then I put it on the big screen later that day, and I was like, or no, we played poker, so it was Saturday. It doesn't look necessarily good.
It looks clean,
but it looks so much
it looks very sharp.
better.
Everything's well defined.
It's like the character models look really good, and then everything else is like 2000, not even 2011, like 2001. Textures,
but I think it's
and
like
all this.
a style.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But like Breath
it
of the
almost
Wild
looks like a
style.
watercolor painting,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's what they're going for, or if it just doesn't look very good, and they can say like, "Yeah, we were going for like a watercolor look." Like, I don't know, who knows, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's nice.
It's
just
Zelda.
nice to play Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my God, the controls are absolute terrible. Nothing feels natural. And to be fair, that's not how this game was designed. So I'm hoping if I play.
I swear to God, if they put friggin' motion controls into Breath of the Wild 2, I'm gonna throw my Switch. I'm gonna burn it in a fire, and I'm gonna videotape it.
Yeah.
Like, but I will say, I am okay with this game so far. I got killed by a couple of what are they? The Deku Babas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. He opens his mouth, so I stab him, and then I'm like, then he's like, "Mah!" And he comes back and goes, "Mah!" And I swipe at him, and he goes back this way. I'm like, okay. And then he goes back, and I'm like, okay. And then he just goes, oh. I'm like, where the hell's my? Why do I have a shield? Like, I had to Google. Like I said, I had to Google how to use my freaking shield, and then I was finally like, oh, wait a minute. But later on in my playthrough, I was like, oh, they either open up like this or this. So then you go this way or this way. I'm like, oh, this is what the game. I get it now. I can appreciate that. Anybody who wants Zelda games to have this immaculate, amazing story needs to shut up, because this game is so freaking slow. I didn't skip anything because I was like, I've never played this. I want to hear everything. Groose and Omagaban and the daddy who's not King Rolf or whatever his name is from Breath of the Wild. Like, I want to hear what everybody has to say. And they have so much to say. I feel like at least with Twilight Princess, as much as the goat herding and all that crap sucked, you were still doing stuff. You weren't just listening. I know the kids in the village they're annoying, but they don't say that much. Yeah. This is just like everyone wants to tell you so much. So the next time you complain about a Zelda game not having enough story, stop, because this is what happens when they're like, this is the beginning of The Legend of Zelda. You get people that never shut up, and even the little Moochie Peachies or whatever they're called that you find when you're in the forest and stuff, like, they can't shut up, and they go, me, and they just got to talk and everything.
Yeah.
Flying sucks. I will say that. Even when I inverted my controls, I was still like, oh my God, can I just get this stupid statue off this stupid effing bird? And then I got it, and it was like, oh, here comes Groose. I was like, am I going to have to do this 5 times? You only had to do it the second time you actually got it. Yeah. I said the controls aren't horrible. The camera stuff takes getting used to. And like I said, it looks so much better on the big screen than it does handheld. I'm by no means giving up on this. I would rather play
No,
this.
I will. I'm
Returnal.
going to beat this
Yeah.
game for sure. Like I can make my way through it. It's just nothing feels natural. I don't know. That's the best way I can put it.
I wish they would have. I know they kind of can't because you're just actually doing a remake, not a remaster. Just have the enemies be regular enemies and just let me push Y to attack. Lock on and Y. Like, I don't know. I'm glad I got my socks and I got my keychain and it's Zelda and it's a Zelda. It's this and Wind Waker are like the only two like mainline games I haven't played at this point, which is crazy. Like not counting the multiplayer and the touchscreen crap because I don't count those, but I've played everything else, and this does kind of make. Now I will say the other thing, like I was saying, how it ties into Breath of the Wild very clearly with the mechanics and stuff. Just playing this for 3 hours or whatever I've played so far, I'm like, there is something going on with Breath of the Wild 2. The whole Link falling through the sky and all this stuff. And you can't see his... There is something weird. I'm not saying it's going to be Demise instead of Ganondorf or whatever that's being revived. I don't know. But there is something... I think they put this out this year instead of Wind Waker HD again. I think they did it for a reason. Yeah. And I think we're going to find that out as we learn more about Breath of the Wild 2. I hate the whole thing about, oh, we know the name, but we're not going to tell you because it might give it away. Every game except Breath of the Wild, it tells you what the Zelda game is. Like, what's it going to be? The Legend of Zelda, you play as Ganondorf. Like, it's not going to be that. So what are we doing?
No.
What are we doing? Like, what is the first boss?
You want to know?
Yeah, I don't care. It's not the...
No, it's Girahim.
Oh, because I saw he was behind, or whatever it is. She, whatever. Like, when I went in the deep woods, I saw his feet. And I was like, oh, that's Girahim, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
And he disappeared. And I was like, oh, okay. But isn't he kind of like the secondary? You fight him for the first time there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do I fight him 3 or 2? Do you remember? Do I fight him 3 times or 2 times?
Oh. I kind of want to say 3. I feel like it's a lot.
Is he the agonim to Ganon?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. So, this is definitely not a full review of Skyward Sword. Also, my weekend has been incredibly busy because we played poker until God knows when. And then Saturday was busy and today was busy. Now we're recording. So I'll have more thoughts next week. Hopefully I can beat a dungeon or 2. Do you know how... we were talking Friday. Do you remember now how many dungeons there are? Or is it like you go down from Skyloft to a hub, you do all this crap like we're doing in the woods, in the deep woods.
You come down here, you do a dungeon, you go back. You come down here, you do a dungeon, you come back. You go down here, you do a dungeon, you come back. But then you have to revisit, and there's like other dungeons in there. Like where you're at right now, it is, even though it's not, I don't remember it being particularly fun. It's pretty crazy what happens in that area where you're at right now later in the game.
On.
Yeah.
James says, last time he was on our show, he said he was playing Skyward Sword, and he said it feels like the whole game was created around motion controls. Do you see what I mean now? Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, why couldn't you just put the... God almighty. Like,
yeah, you can't just get rid of the motion controls from the game. I mean, you can, and you end up with flicking the stick, but like,
and that
you can't just go back to hitting a button and swinging your sword. Like, you need the directional stuff, but I feel like we talked about, you should just be able to move the right stick to move the camera, and then hold the button and move the stick.
Opposite, yes.
Hold Y. Y and X have no use so far.
Right.
I don't know if they will. Hold one of those. Well, no, you can't because then you can't use the stick.
No, hold L1 to
something,
attack. Or hold L2 when you target somebody, then you take your sword out. Boom.
Maybe, yeah. But just moving the stick alone should not...
But again, Nintendo gonna Nintendo. Oh, God. I love you guys so much, but man, you frustrate the hell out of me. Like, I want to love this game, but after 3 hours... So Metacritic, last time I checked, was an 82. It might be on the high side.
I'm curious to see what I think when I start playing with motion
I ain't playing
controls.
motion. I would rather quit. I'm not doing it. I'm going to brute force my way through these damn controller controls, or I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be in my living room going. And that's the thing. Like I was saying, like it.
Well, this is the worst thing. So you fight. There's like spiders, like the Skulltulas.
Okay.
Well, not really I guess. In the first dungeon, and they drop down, and if you hit them, you just boom, and they just like bounce back. You gotta hit them from the side, and they go wee 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 wee, and now the back is facing you, and
then you
stab them, and they're dead. But then later on, you fight one, and he's down on the ground, and he's just like following you, and I lock on, and I'm just like backing away and just kind of swirling around him, and I can't hit him because the soft spot's underneath. I'm like uppercut him, turn him over, and then
right.
No, can't. I hit him, stab, nothing. Get behind him, stab, nothing. Nothing hits him. Meanwhile, he keeps shooting these webs out that tangle you up, and then you have to wiggle the right stick to get out. And I don't know. All I'm doing is like circling around him, and I can't. I'm trying to, like, you can hit A to do like a jump or a sideways jump or probably a backflip. I don't remember. But like in the other game, you hit A, and he goes, ah! He does like a jumping attack. And this, he just jumps.
You can only do like the
can
jumping
I jump
attack
and
if
then
you knock him down, and then you do the death.
Right, you can do the stab.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I jump, can I then jump and then hit my thing?
So did you ever
And then
get
he does
them?
a jumping attack. No, eventually I just went away and he went back up in the air, and I found a spot where I could shoot something at him to cut him down. Then he falls on his back, and then you can stab him. But I'm just like circling around him, and I'm just like holding this controller, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. He keeps hitting me with the stupid webs, and I have to wiggle myself free. And I'm trying to use the item you get in the first dungeon, but it's like an aim kind of thing.
Hook shot?
No.
Okay.
And then
Bone arrow.
But then I can't get it off in time before he's already webbed me again. And it's just so, I'm like, it's just one enemy. It's the stupid spider. And I'm like, I feel like I've never played a Zelda game in my life,
feel like
because I'm
gonna
like,
quit
I
this game.
don't know what I'm supposed to do to this thing. And it's just, I don't know. This whole game just feels so weird.
James says, IGN gave Skyward Sword, and I do remember this, a 10 out of 10 in 2011. And if that isn't a BS review, then I don't know what is. This game, I'm pretty sure they were the only site that gave this game a 10.
Yeah.
Because there's no way this game is a 10. Now, the story might be a 10, and I hope it is, but like at this point, I'm like, I'm fighting this. I'm going to fight this game the whole way through to finally beat it.
Yeah.
You know?
Just to say you did.
Right.
Yep.
So Skyward Sword HD, hopefully you like it better than we do. Sean,
Yes.
you want to get news of the week?
Let's do it.
The Steam Deck is real, and it is spectacular, depending on who you talk to. And it is shipping in December. The Steam Deck. First off, would you agree with me that this looks like a Nomad?
It looks, yeah.
It
yes.
looks like a Game Gear.
Game Gear
and
is
a
my
Nomad
first thought, but
had
yeah.
a baby.
Yeah.
This thing is ginormous. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't. It seems like it's way too thick to hold comfortably. But thank you. But people that have actually gone hands-on with it say it is kind of like ergonomic, which I don't know how, because the butt
Does not look it. But
all right, let me run through everything with the Steam Deck. It has a custom APU developed with AMD. They say you can, quote, play your entire Steam library, but it seems like since that was said that it's not actually really true. There is a dock, but you have to purchase it separately. But you do get a like hard clamshell case with your Steam Deck when you purchase it, so that's cool. The resolution is 1280 by 800, so it's like super widescreen 720 basically.
right.
7-inch screen. It is touch enabled and 60 hertz. The battery lasts between 2 and 8 hours.
Okay.
And Portal 2 will last you 4 hours if you play through it. Portal 2, a game that came out, again, 10 years ago.
Wow.
It has all the buttons. It's got 2 trackpad things. This is the weird thing. Like, so you're holding it like this. The D-pad's here. The left stick is right next to that. The buttons are in the top right, and then the right stick is right next to those. It reminds me of the Wii U gamepad for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah.
But then under that, You have a trackpad on each side. Now, what I heard when I was listening to GameScoop was that the sticks and the trackpad are both what's it called? No. Oh my God, what's it called? Like the unit can tell when your thumbs are on something. So it'll either like enable the touch. It'll either enable it'll either enable the sticks or it'll enable the two trackpad things based on you just touching them. So that's cool. It's funny. So the shoulder buttons are L1, L2, R1, R2, like PlayStation. The buttons on the face of the thing are X, Y, A, B, like Xbox. Mm-hmm. And then they've got the sticks where the Wii U was. So they're just like, we're going to do everything everybody wants. Also, it does behind it have 4 back buttons, kind of like the PlayStation stupid thing or the Xbox Elite controller thing. Yeah. So you can do key bindings and whatever I've heard. I'm not good enough to know those things. But the weirdest thing to me is the B button, like X, Y, A, B. The B looks like it's almost on the, like, if you're holding it, it almost looks like you'd have to go around the corner to hit B.
Really?
It is so weird. I don't know. It will include all of the Steam features like chat, remote play, cloud saves, etc. John Tingley says the Nomad is awesome.
My man.
Thank you. John, how old are you, by the way? Because we grew up, we freaking love the Nomad. With that, just like when we got the Nomad, we were like, let's just go plug this up. Yeah, look at the B button.
Yeah.
We were like, let's go plug this up to the big TV. Go check out our first Patreon exclusive episode. And just being able to plug another controller into that and do S-Video, I think it was S-Video, to the TV was like, this is awesome. We love the Nomad. It was freaking amazing. Pricing. The base model, they're like, oh, the Steam Deck is out and it's $399. Yeah, kind of. If you want the 64 gig non-SSD model, it's $399. 256 gigs for $529. 512 gigs for $649. The two higher end models do have the SSD. They've hinted today that you might be able to actually put an SSD into the very base model, even though it doesn't come with an SSD. There is also a micro SD card slot, but that's really just going to be stored. You can't run anything off of that, so it does have that, but whatever. It's only available in the US, Canada, the EU, and the UK as of now. It looked like everybody that. It's funny because it seemed like they were in short supply when the pre-registration went up. Again, these are going to ship in December. It looked like everybody who wanted one got one, but I also seemed like everybody was completely stressed out. But I will hand it to Valve as I say this. Whatever they did by doing this pre-registration thing and making you put $5 down to be able to register, to like anybody that did the registration, they're not guaranteed to get one like in December. They're just, okay, you're on the list now. But the reason they did this kind of stuff was to get away from the scalpers that have been killing people that want an Xbox or a PS5. And I salute them for that. I love that. One funny note here. Elgato, the same day this thing got announced, did you see this? They announced a new Stream Deck. What? And this was also, they announced this the day that the pre-orders went live for the Switch OLED. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Sean, I think this is for I am intrigued. But when I see the $399 model only gets me 64 gigs, I can already play indie games portably on my Switch.
Yeah.
If I want to play Death Stranding or freaking Portal 2, or I can't play Half-Life out. If I want to play Half-Life 2, whatever I want to play, like I only have 64 gigs for $400. I just don't know. I'm glad someone else is making a portable system because I want Sony to not give up the ghost of the Vita. But I don't know. It seems like everybody that's pre-ordered this already has a like super powerful PC, so I don't know why you would want this. But also I don't know. What do you think about the Steam Deck?
I don't really see. I don't see the need. It's a lot of money. I feel like it only opens up a handful of games, maybe, that I couldn't already play elsewhere.
Hashtag team old. I'm going to be 40 in 3 months.
I don't know. I just no part of me is interested in this at all.
It's so weird because when we talked about this a month ago or whatever, when it leaked, I was like, this actually sounds kind of interesting. And now that it's real, I'm like, I'm not interested.
I'm like, a 2 to 8 hour battery life? What?
I'm almost like, I would rather just...
Now, in a few years, if you can maybe get the 64 gig for like 200. You know, if it drops way low in price, kind of like that 1 year where you're just like, screw it, I'm going to get a Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe then, but not for anything near these prices.
No, like if I was going to get one of these, I would get the 512 because it has the best SSD and the most storage. But then for $649, I'm like, I can get a gaming laptop for a couple $100 more. Yeah. That's just as powerful, if not more powerful, with a bigger screen. Like, why wouldn't I do that?
And
it's an actual laptop. Yeah, like, I don't know. I love that they're doing this, and I love that it's Valve doing it themselves. This is not the oh god, now I'm blanking. What was it? When they did their was it the Steam Machine? Is that what it was called? When they did the whole, I can't remember what it was called, but when they did the whole, they were kind of trying to make like console PCs or whatever. They licensed it out to a whole bunch of people, and everybody effed it up. This is at least they're saying, we're going to make the Steam Deck ourselves. So I like that. And they might not be making any money on these also because they don't need to because they're Valve.
Right.
I'm just glad there's something that is a competitive. This is the Switch Pro without first-party Nintendo games.
Basically, yeah.
And the timing, I think, is very ironic or not ironic. I don't know. But I get it, but it's just not... I don't know. I will watch from the sidelines, I think. Next up, Sean. So Death Stranding is getting a director's cut. And apparently Hideo Kojima was not behind the name of that. This comes from IGN. Death Stranding director Hideo Kojima seemingly doesn't agree with the game's expanded re-release being labeled a director's cut. Kojima shared his stance on Twitter, explaining that the use of the director's cut subtitle in the movie industry often implies that the original release was cut due to a lack of creative control or a need to shorten the runtime, like Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's me editorializing. With the director's cut sometimes coming at a later date to represent the filmmaker's own approved edit. He reminded his followers that this is not the case with Death Stranding, as the team won't be adding in any previously removed content, since the game was the sum total of their original vision, but rather expanding it with all new material that they have developed in the time that has elapsed since the game's release. Quote, a director's cut in a movie is an additional edit to a shortened version that was either released reluctantly because the director did not have the right to edit it, or because the running time had to be shortened, he wrote, referring to the director's cut. In the game, it is not what was cut, but what was additionally produced that was included. Director's plus? So in my opinion, I don't like to call it director's cut, end quote. So I only put this in here because we all made fun of the name. Like, Hideo Kojima now runs a studio called Kojima Productions.
Right.
How can you have a director's cut when you're not working for Konami? You're working for yourself, and you are putting out your Death Stranding. We're all like, what? Why is this called director's cut? And then Ghost of Tsushima comes out with a director's cut, and it's like, oh, this is a Sony thing.
But why is somebody other than Kojima naming this thing? I'm guessing he had to sign off on it.
Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but I think Sony actually owns... Well, maybe not, because 505 did it on PC. I think Sony actually owns the Death Stranding IP.
No.
So because they're calling everybody PlayStation Studios, even if you're second party, then they can say, well, no, this is a director's cut.
Yeah.
But the reason I really want to include this in here is we've got all these rumors about Kojima going to Xbox. Did Sony piss him off? Now, this would be the most petty thing ever, but we already know Kojima has had a falling out with his previous company.
Mm-hmm.
Could Sony calling his game a director's cut make him go, F you, I'm going to Microsoft?
No.
Okay.
No way. Now, did he decide to work with Microsoft and then Sony to be petty was like,
oh.
But what a weird, like, I can't imagine that they would have actually thought naming it that would actually,
No.
I don't know. But
clearly it's just something they're doing with their re-releases.
Right, yeah.
And I will say, I go back on what I said last week or the week before. I'm not paying $30 for Ghost of Tsushima. That is stupid. It already runs, it looks beautiful, and it runs at 60 frames. Why the hell? So I was wrong when I talked about this. It's $10 if you just want the PS4 version upgraded to PS5. Another $20 gets you the Iki Island stuff. Why should I have to pay when I already have Ghost of Tsushima running on my PS5 at 60 frames? Why would I give them $10 extra?
Yeah.
Now again,
so does this also mean you're not going to go back and finish it, or you're just going to go back and finish the one you have?
Probably. But like, we made fun of, I mean, I did for sure, of smart delivery for as long as I can remember. And I, again, as I've said on here before, I was 100% wrong. Microsoft, you put the disc in or you download it and it's like, oh, you're on a Series X or a Series S or a 1 or a 1X. This is your version. Meanwhile, I get Miles Morales and I plug in the disc and I get the PS4 version and the PS5 version. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't know. I don't think Director's Cut is the right title for these re-releases. Because, again, it doesn't even make sense for Ghost. There's nothing that was cut. They're doing DLC, which they should charge for. Yeah. You know? But don't call it... It's like they don't want to call something Game of the Year Edition.
Just call it...
Well, like he said, Director's Plus is what he said, which sounds horrible.
Just do, like, subsistence or something. Just throw, like, a little...
I like that.
Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up. NPD numbers for June. Xbox takes the top spot in terms of dollar sales in June, but the Switch still won in terms of total units sold. This was also the best Xbox hardware month ever since June 2011, the 360 era.
Wow.
So good for them. I guess people were hyped up after E3, so good for them. The PS5 is still the fastest selling console in the U.S. market ever through its first 8 months now. So good for them. Make more, please. The DualSense Midnight Black version was the best-selling gaming accessory. I'm glad it was not the red because I hate... That is not even red. That is like Cabernet Sauvignon.
I like the looks of it, but it doesn't go with anything. But that being said, the black doesn't either, and I've already got 2 controllers. I don't need a third. Right. But, yeah.
If my kids keep playing my PS5, I'm going to need another controller. Yeah. And then I will get the black, not the red. In terms of software, the number one selling game of the month was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The best launch month ever for a Ratchet game, and it doubled the dollar sales of 2016 Ratchet & Clank. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Number 2, of course, was Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Number 3, I'm happy for this, although I don't know that I'm going to get this game. I'm sorry, James. Mario Golf Super Rush. It was also the best Mario Golf launch ever in terms of dollars sold. So good for Nintendo, and I forget the name of the developer that makes that. MLB The Show 21, hanging in there at number 4. So 3 months in a row, it has now been in the top 4. It went from 1 to 3 to 4. And this does not count anything on Xbox.
Yeah.
So I think Sony's like... I think we probably all overreacted a little bit with it being on Game Pass because obviously they're like... People are buying it for $60, $70. Who cares?
Right.
Number 5, Scarlet Nexus, out last month as well. Number 6, RE Village dropped from number 1 in May down to number 6. Number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 8, Minecraft. Number 9, Spider-Man Miles Morales. And number 10, Mortal Kombat 11. I was surprised to see Mortal Kombat in there. Everything else, I'm like, whatever. I mean, more people as they get PS5s, they're going to buy Miles Morales, obviously.
Right.
Minecraft is Minecraft. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to end up being, well, it already is the best-selling Mario Kart game of all time. But anything stick out to you when it comes to the NPD results for last month? I got to give a shout out to Xbox.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it all sounds about right.
James says, Sony advertises that the PS5 is the best way to play PS4 games, yet you have to pay extra for almost all of those games to be upgraded to the PS5 version. Should they stop marketing it that way? Yes, they should. I love Sony, but they are not doing they have the better games than Microsoft does as of now. 2 years from now, I don't know if that'll be the case once all these Xbox games actually start coming out, but they got to change their tune, I would say. When it comes to NPD, Sean, I just love seeing Ratchet at the top. That makes me very happy. But again, if you have a PS5, who has a PS5 that didn't buy Ratchet? Why would you not buy Ratchet?
It's a good question.
Unless you just got it to get Cold War and you go from there, but...
Right.
And the last item on the news list, I had to throw this in here. It was announced by Blue Box Game Studios that the abandoned trailer app will be able to be preloaded on July 29th, with the first trailer for the game coming in August. And then they changed the name from Real-Time Trailers to Real-Time Experience. They have said that this app will host multiple trailers lasting between 5 and 12 minutes. Huh. Who else makes absurdly long, ridiculous trailers for his games? I will answer it for you. That man is Hideo Kojima.
Something's fishy.
There will also be gameplay demos and future live events. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is Kojima at this point, but Sean, there is something so fishy. There is no way, this is just a developer, an indie developer, whose one Kickstarter before this failed with $250. $250. There's no thousands after that or hundreds or anything. That's what I'm saying. I could do a Kickstarter right now to get us Shure microphones and we could probably actually beat that. What are we talking about? There is no... I'm not saying it's Kojima, but I do think whatever Blue Box actually is... I'm not saying it's Kojima, but I think it is the second Silent Hill game, sorry.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, there's something going on.
Oh my God, John and James didn't buy Ratchet. Son of a biscuit.
Well, there you go.
All right, well. So 50% attach rate between the four of us.
Yeah, I don't know that it's Kojima. At the very least, it's this guy
trying to
either be Kojima or just trying to make people think that something's going on. He's either a genius with all the free publicity he's gotten, or there's just something more to it. But it's not. There's no way it's all a coincidence.
No.
There's literally no way.
And people have gone through the whole the teaser trailer that they put out for Abandoned. It was all just like Unreal Engine 4 assets. Just they threw a bunch of trees that you can see in UE4. They just put them in there with some snow on the ground, whatever. It was not anything like that the two of us couldn't make. But then why is Sony doing a blog post? Why is Sony giving these guys an app on PlayStation? You cannot tell me that this is just Abandoned. There is no way in hell. This is a Silent Hill game. Whether it's Kojima or not, with all the Xbox stuff going on, I don't know. This is a Silent Hill game, and I cannot wait until this first trailer actually drops in August. By the way, I will also say, I just remembered this. Kojima has been tweeting about him working on a trailer. Now, we all assume it's Death Stranding. Because he talked about, I didn't put out the Death Stranding launch director's cut trailer. Would you like to see mine? And the results of the poll were like 100% to 0%. Yes. But do we really? I don't know. There's something going on. And then like Colin was saying that Hassan tweeted out this week again in the middle of the night in the Netherlands, but during the morning in Japan. Come on, man. I don't know. There's something super, super fishy going on here. And I cannot wait till we figure it out. Now it's time for the wrap-up. Sean. Jeff Grubb posted this today. I thought we had already heard this, but apparently he did this on the Giant Bomb Show or whatever, the Bombcast, whatever it's called, this weekend. I thought he had already said this, but he said on the show this weekend that the Metroid Prime trilogy is done, and Nintendo's just sitting on it. He said they had some issues with QA stuff, with COVID and everything, but at this point, it's done. They're just waiting until we get closer to Metroid Prime 4 to release it.
I don't even care. I'll believe it when I'm sick of hearing about it. Either release it or don't. But I'm done getting my hopes up for it. I'll be happy when or if it comes out, but until then, I don't care.
I'm happier to play Dread, honestly, because I would rather play. Well, I've never played a 3D Metroid, but in my mind, I would rather just play more 2D Metroid.
Yeah.
But I think we get Metroid Dread in October. That's not going to get delayed, and then I think we get Prime Trilogy next fall, and then so fall 23 is I think when we're going to get 4. And that sucks.
Maybe
on our Switch Pros. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was announced, and it's out this fall for consoles. How is this a thing?
Hot take. I would absolutely rather play this game than Smash.
Wow.
Just because I feel like it's probably not going to take itself, or maybe not, that it won't take itself too seriously.
You want to kick Leonardo's ass with Patrick?
I just feel like I'm just so sick of hearing about Smash and how it's like the best thing.
Oh, I'm so sick. It came out friggin' 2.5 years ago. Can we stop with the DLC?
I think
every effing direct.
I don't know. I'd rather it be. I think this would be hilarious to just be like an actual fighting game and not like a Smash kind of style. Like
that's why I want PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale to come back. You got to call it something else, but like. But give it to Arc System or whatever it is that does the Guilty Gear games. Just make it an actual 2D fighter.
Yeah.
With PlayStation characters. Don't try to just replicate Smash. But I could not give two craps about this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to buy it, but I would rather play it than Smash.
We could get it and then just do Leonardo versus Michael because there's only 2 turtles and we could just do tournament fighters back and forth. We keep switching.
There's only
players.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm sure they'll release the other 2 as DLC. Tetsuya Nomura has confirmed that there is a story in place for Final Fantasy X Part 3, but the focus right now is on Final Fantasy VII Remake. What do you think? He's not saying it'll ever get made, but there is a story.
I don't even know what the story to 10-2 was.
Did you play that or just 10?
I tried. It was terrible.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It was terrible. I love Final Fantasy X. 10-2 was terrible. I'm not saying the story wasn't good. I don't even really know what the story is. I think it's just kind of I think it ends kind of similarly. So at the end of 10, Titus more or less dies or disappears.
Dude, man, I was going to play it next week.
It's like it was all a dream kind of thing.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
10-2, basically Yuna gets a letter or sees, I don't know, that's like, oh no, there's like a sphere, which is like a DVD. It's like you can watch videos on it basically. And she gets a sphere and it's like, wait a minute, that guy in this sphere, that sure looks a lot like Titus. And the whole game is like, is he still alive? And then I think at the end, it's still like, I don't know. And so I'm like, I do not care about it at all.
Yeah.
I would be intrigued, like, if it ended up getting made and it actually looked good, but 10-2 was terrible.
James, I agree with everything it's about Metroid Prime Trilogy. He said he thinks it needs a full year before 4 comes out. It's 3 30 to 40-hour games. Also, Kevin, if you like the way Returnal feels to play in the atmosphere, you'll love Metroid Prime. I want to play Metroid Prime. I just need it on my Switch.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer really likes the DualSense, saying, quote, I think Sony's done a nice job with their controller, and we kind of look at some of that and think there are things that we should go do. Yeah, Phil. Go do it. Battlefield 2042 will support crossplay between PC, Series X and S, and PS5, or crossplay between Xbox One and PS4.
That's weird.
Yeah. There was a lot of delays this past week. Ghostwire Tokyo was delayed into 2022. Resident Evil Reverse, which I don't think anybody wants, was delayed until 2022. Rainbow Six Extraction just got an actual name like a month ago, and it's now been delayed into January of 2022. Riders Republic was supposed to come out September 2nd. It is now coming out October 28th. Does any of that break your heart?
No. Not in the slightest.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I was dead broke, man. I couldn't picture this. John, God bless you. Netflix is expanding into games, according to Bloomberg, in 2022. Games will appear as a new programming genre, and right now Netflix has no plans to charge extra. Well, that's just because every couple months they're just like, you're going to pay us another $1. Another $1. We've got 50 billion subscribers. $1, that goes a long way. 500 billion. There's not that many. That's not that much. Tetris Effect Connected is coming as a free update on PS4 on August 18th. James says he's going to bring his... Gotta leave for the night. Great show, guys. Thank you, John. James says he's going to bring his GameCube and Metroid Prime when he comes to visit us. Bring it. And bring it. I just lost it. Oh, Tetris Effect. I'm glad you have this, and I'm glad it's a free update, so you can at least try it. Because it's supposed to be super cool, the multiplayer update.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. Also, the last item here on the wrap-up, FIFA 22, the next-gen upgrade will be only available to those that get the $100 Ultimate Edition. Or you can buy the last-gen version and the current-gen version separately. EA, gonna EA.
Stupid.
It is stupid, but here I am, like, I'm going to pay $70 for Madden because I'm kind of excited for the Yankees, the Giants this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 242. Do it. 4, and then the 2 and the 2.
No.
You leave the 4 and you go to that. What up, 242? Thank you guys so much for being here. Until the next time, Sean. Well, remember, Dustin Furman later this week. We'll be back next week with a regular episode. But until those times, Sean, can you check us out?
By the way,
that's not what I meant to say. Take us out.
The amount of brain power it takes for me to actually get to where I can do this right, that's what it feels like playing Skyward Sword.
Yeah, but you beat Returnal. And you're like, duh.
Returnal has good controls.
242.
Thank you for playing.